Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of TC Fitness. My name is Chris McCrae, and as promised, this week's video is going to be a two-part video. It is going to be a discussion topic as well as a tutorial on how to do a low bar squat. So, that being said, I'm sure you all noticed the change of scenery. I decided to give you guys a little bit different of a view than, my dorm room. I'm also running around and grabbing lunch and doing things for work, so multitasking just a little bit on this one. That being said, let's jump right into the discussion topic. The main topic of this week is going to be programming, and I could go incredibly in-depth with this topic because there's so many different avenues that you could take to talk about in terms of things you should and shouldn't be doing, things that are beneficial, things that people think work that don't. It's almost limitless what we could talk about. But that being said, I wanted to discuss the main concept of having a program. A lot of people, especially when they first start out, they go into the gym and they don't really have a plan as to what they're going to do. They may have, some semblance of a goal in mind as to where they want their body to end up, but they don't have the way of getting there. They just go in and they do random exercises every day, thinking that, you're in the gym, you're burning off calories, you're going to improve, which to some degree, they're not wrong. If you're going to the gym and you're working and you've never done any of that before, you are still in fact burning off excess calories. But you're making your journey so much harder than it actually needs to be. Take, for instance, I had someone ask me the other day for one of their friends. I have no idea who their friend is. It was literally just, I got a phone call and asked for advice about the typical Beachbody workouts. They were like, hey, this person hasn't worked out in a while, they're trying to jump back into it, and they were curious to know as to whether or not Beachbody programs would be beneficial for them. And my response was more or less, do whatever works for you in the gym. If you can go in and you can squat every day because you really want your legs to get stronger and that works for you, then do it. If doing total body 3 days a week is showing you results, do it. Not everybody is going to be on the same program, and I think that's where I could probably get a lot of backlash from a lot of the people online who are programming for people, because they're sending very generic programs to multiple groups of people. And in my personal belief, I don't think anybody should be on the same program as anybody else. And that's where I disagree with some of these Beachbody programs, is they're all very generic. If I have somebody who has knee issues, or say I have someone who wants to train for the CrossFit Games, I'm not going to give them the same program because they have different ability levels, they have different goals, they have so many different factors that go into the things you can and cannot do in the gym. Even if you had two very similar people at the gym with similar goals, say you had two people that were training for the CrossFit Games, I still wouldn't put them on the same program because they're going to have different weaknesses. This conversation actually came up with one of my friends while he was up here in Alaska, and it takes nothing away from, my coach, from the work he did helping all of us improve. But you see at a certain point a little bit of mainstreaming that goes along with online coaches, I think, and once they get a certain amount of clientele or a certain demographic even, I think everything becomes focused, but not necessarily in a good way, more like tunnel vision type of focused. And we noticed that some of us, during certain points of our training cycles, were all doing the same exact things. And like I said, I take nothing away from his training method. We were all improving, we were all doing well, but this isn't something that I personally agree with. I don't typically ever really have trouble holding on to a bar, so I don't need to do as many farmer's walks or heavy shrug, things that are going to improve my grip. Whereas I have trouble pulling a deadlift off of the floor. So deficit deadlifts would be more recommended for my programming. It's going to be different for everybody, no matter what particular little reason it is. If me and one of my friends are relatively at the same point, I'm still taller than he is. I have longer arms, so my bench stuff might be different than his, because it's going to be harder for me to do a close grip bench 4 reps because my arms have to travel on a longer path. Like it's just physically more exhausting for me than it is for him. So putting that into my program to make me work on it makes more sense than having him do it all the time when it's already something that he is relatively decent at. I really wanted to touch on the fact that I don't like when people get the same programs from other people. It's mildly irritating, at least being a trainer and seeing somebody doing the same thing as someone else, especially when you walk into a gym and you see trainers actually training them in person and they're doing the same thing with all of their clients, because it shouldn't be. It's personal training. Everybody is their own person and has their own set of goals and limitations. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing nowadays. And like you said, I could probably get a lot of backlash from people online about that, because people sell programming that does in fact work. If they're selling a program to increase your deadlift because they're already deadlifting 800 pounds, I can't really argue with it. I've never deadlifted 800 pounds, but I know that I'm going to benefit more from training my weaknesses versus going off of some general program that everybody can work off of. I think that's pretty much it in terms of programming. It's, do what works for you, but make sure you're the one doing it. Like you don't want to be grouped in. This is your journey. I want it to be specifically for you. After this, I'll probably try and find a way to video edit and have it jump right into the squat video. So, it'll probably be a little cut scene, and then it'll probably be videos of me squatting in the gym, showing you what the correct form is, what incorrect form is, what common misconceptions are, the difference between certain types of squats. Like I said, we are going over low bar today, which in my opinion is the easiest of the 3 main types of squats, if you're using just a regular straight bar. So yeah, check out the video after this. Just keep watching, I guess, and let me know what you think. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon.